Hello all. Today I'm gonna show you how we can create a REST service in few minutes. So that is what I'm going to cover today. So we know we don't have a wizard for this. That is the reason I'm gonna create and show how easily we can create this. So if we go and see here under the integration connectors, we see wizard for create connect soap and connect rest. Connect soap and connect trust. So if you go to service, you can see the service wizard, but when you open that, you see only the soap. The rest is not there because we have to, if you are creating a service, we have to create it manually. So I will show you how we can create that easily. So before creating it, we should have one. Yeah. So under integration class, I'm gonna create one class for my service rest. So go here and sysadmin class creation. So I'm gonna mark it as student. So this is my class. Okay. So this is my rule set. I'll create under FSG. So this is my rule set. So now create and open. Version is 010102 and here I'm gonna give same description and usage. That's it. Now my class is ready. So this is my class. So we know I'm gonna create the post method. So we know we have get, post, put, delete and patch method. So we usually use get method only. So when we have a endpoint URL, that is when we consume the outside service, we will get the endpoint URL. So using that endpoint URL, using wizard or manually, we create the connector. So we are service provider because we are going to create our own service. So in the service, what I'm going to do is when someone from other system or in external system, so they want to update something to our system. So we are maintaining on DB. So in other application or other system, they will send data. We will get the data and we will store the data into the DB. So that is the first process I'm going to show. So this is going to be the post method using the REST service. So we know when we think about it, so we need request and response property. That is two main property. In request property, we will get the input from outside system. So request will have a input. So we will take the input and we will insert that input to the table. And in the response, we will show some message mentioning success, or we are unable to insert something like some error handling. If you want to do, we can do that. So now our class is ready. So I'm just gonna create so I'm gonna create two classes here. One is for records. So this is going to hold my records data. So other one is I'm gonna create response. That's it. So now both of my classes ready. If you go here and do refresh, you will be able to see both the classes. Now I need to create two properties. So as we discussed, so I'm gonna create first property, that is my records property. Create and open. So this is going to be page, which will be nothing but our request class we have created. student request. So next one I'm gonna create as response, and this is going to be a single page which is belongs to response class. I'll create it newly, sometimes this will cause problem. Okay, so now I'll go and refresh here. So we have already created our request property. Now I'm gonna create one more, that is our response. So this is my applies to class, and this is going to be a single page, and the class is going to be fsg int response. That's it. Now both of my properties are ready. Refresh. So if we go on the data model, you will be able to see both the properties. Now in the request, so since I have given name as student DB, so let's make it as very simple for the better understanding. So in student record, I will be getting student ID, name and age. This is the three properties I'm gonna manage now for easy understanding. Let's not complicate it. First one is student ID or roll number, something like that. Okay, so create and open. So this is going to be a text property. Let's keep it as text. And the next one I'm gonna create is name. So even this is going to be text. And next one I'm gonna create it as age. So yeah, that's it. So the property type, if you want, we can mark it as integer. So I'm just gonna keep it as text. That's it. So now our properties are ready. If you go and refresh here, expand the data model property. Okay. You see, I forgot to change the page context. That is why it got created here. Under this property only I've created. Ideally, it should go under request. So now I'll just open this roll number, and I'll just do save as. It has to be under request. So I'll just delete this. This is not needed. Roll number, and the next one is I'll just create guide, and this should be under request. So now our age property is ready, and the left with our name. So I'll create one for name as well. So I'll just delete this. Checking. That's it. Now if you go and refresh here, so now it has came under request. We have to be very careful when we are creating this. So under request it is ready. Now I'm gonna create one under the status. It should be under this, right? Why it is here? What is the class? Oh, I made a mistake here. It should be student, right? because I made a mistake while creating, so it will not let me to update it. So I'll just delete, refresh. So now we have a request. So now I'm gonna create one more, that is for response, and the class should be response. Earlier I have mentioned some other class, that's why we were seeing the status property populated under that response. Now I'll response, this should be belongs to a fsg ing account response. Should not be account, it should be student response. Now our response is ready. Let me refresh here. Yeah, response is ready. Now I'm gonna create one property under response, that is nothing but status. So status is the one which will show whether the record is successfully inserted or not. So thus I'm gonna create under response class. That's it. So now when I do refresh, we will be able to see the property under response. Go here, property, response. Yeah, so we are able to see everything now. So that's it, we are ready now. And now I'm gonna create integration service rest. So I'm gonna update student details. So package, I will take I'll explain this in a different class. So for now I'm just selecting the package here, and going to be student details. Service version is going to be version 1. That's it. We are ready now. Create and open. So the class is going to be, I'm gonna create this under my integration class. So fsg int student. That's it. And now I'm gonna, so we have to create one activity for the post method, and the request and response mapping we have to do here. So under request, if we go here, so mapping is going to be, so we are gonna map our request to JSON, and here, so we are now mapped to clipboard. So response. Now I'm gonna write our activity, update student details. This is our activity. Create and open. So now, so I'm just gonna create one new page, that is student, and add one more, a property set. So here I'm gonna check whether the request dot roll number not is equal to null. If it is not null, then only we will be proceeding, otherwise we are putting jump to later step, error. So I will add a error scenario here. So in error, we will be setting response dot status roll number. Okay, So we can keep it as student details should not be empty. So here we can add the validation for, so we should have all the details in order to enter the data. So I'm just gonna put age not is equal to null and dot. So if everything is not null, then only we are gonna insert the data not is equal to null. So if any of the record is null, we are gonna throw the error message. That's it. Now we go here, and what I'm gonna do is to the student, I'm gonna set, this is our page, right? So request dot roll number 2. So under the student, I'm gonna create two properties. Okay, so now we'll go to our data designer. Here only we are going to insert our record, right? So I will add the field here. So we need roll number, name, and age. That's it. So, and I don't want event label. I'll just do save now. That's it. We are ready now. So I'm gonna mark a roll number as a key. Go and save. Now we are gonna set student dot roll number. So I'm gonna set on top of this page. So pages and classes. So I'm defining this because we are having this on top of service page, right? So we are not sure on which page context we'll be running this, because this will be on the service page context. So that is the reason I have introduced the new context, so that we will be able to save to student data without any issues. And name, so we are gonna set from request dot name, and the third one is dot age. So this is going to be request dot age. So that's it, we are ready. Now I'm gonna add one more step to save the data. So we'll be saving this, and the next step, commit. Okay, I will use commit only. So yeah, so once it is done, so if there is no issue, if there is here, status fail, then we are moving to error, otherwise continue once. I'll just make this error message as a generic now. If not, if there is no issue, then continue and set the responses success. Response dot status successfully inserted. That's it. Now let's go and see. So our activity is ready. Give this. Let me trace. Execute. I think this condition is not needed here. Let me move to the step. Because the step page context is totally different, right? I'm running on top of the step page as a student. So now this is true, otherwise jump to latest step error. Now I'll go and execute this. Student details should not be empty. Okay, I know why. So the commit has happened, but still it is going because after commit we didn't restrict, right? So once it is committed, so if this is true, we have to exit the activity. Yeah, now I will go here and pass, and I'm gonna pass it as 23. So now I will clear and execute. So now successfully inserted and 200 message. So if we go and now let us go to our record and refresh. So we will be able to see two records. One is for Jenny and one is for Paul. So one is for Jenny and one is for Paul. So this is how we insert the record in case if I don't pass any of this value. So if it is empty, then it has to throw the error message, right? Trace. So now I'll execute this. So student details should not be empty or error in saving. So now we see here it got jumped here itself. So this record is not inserted into the table. So this is how we create the service restroom. So it's very easy to create.